I'm William Shatner. I've done a lot of things in my career, but this takes the cake. This is so cool. You, Todd, today, it's all about you. This is phenomenal. You made parole.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. Tonight on the show, we got another car into a building. And what's going on in Kettering? I think in the last month or so, they've had like 3 or 4 of these instances of cars crashing into buildings. We'll get to that here in a few. Also, here's a question to think about. Many of you listening right now are coming home from work. Maybe you hate your job, you're tired of your job, you're sick of your job, sick of your boss, tired of working for the man. If you could just quit your job today, though I guess it's kind of the end of the day, maybe quit your job first thing tomorrow. What's the one thing that you would go and do? If you could swing it financially, the one dream that you would like to go pursue. I've got a story of a woman who quit her job, and what she is giving up and what she's going to go do, I just love. I love this idea. So think about that and let me know, 937-457-1290. We'll get to the story. She's a restaurant owner, and she's closing down, and she's going to pursue a new career, and I love it. So think about that, and we'll get to it here in a bit. Also, this is exciting. Haven't had this in a while. Cereal news. Very, very exciting. And if you love the monster cereal from the 70s and the 80s, you're going to love this story. But the first thing that I need to get into, and it's not to be a downer or anything, but today is a very special, very important anniversary. And for those of you who have lived around here for a while, you might remember this catastrophe, this disaster happening right here in the Miami Valley, kind of south of Dayton, but nonetheless, you might remember it. It happened on this date in 2010. And if you need a refresher, here's a little bit of audio.
Monroe Police Department.
Hey, it's County.
Yeah.
You get a call for the Jesus being on fire at Solid Rock yet?
No.
Apparently it got struck by lightning and it's now on fire.
Nice.
The caller from 75 said that it was the Jesus. Now, whether or not it is, I don't know, but...
It's either the church or that, right?
Correct.
Police Department, Dispatcher Bank.
Hey, it sounds like it's just going to be the Jesus. Now we're getting reports that its hand is on fire.
All right.
I love
Bye.
the giggling in the background.
Monroe Police Department, Dispatcher Bank.
Hey, it's going now.
Yeah.
Hey, you all handle Solid Rock?
Yeah, the Jesus is on fire.
The Jesus is on fire.
About it.
Yeah.
All right.
So
All
my
right.
question, where were you when you heard that Jesus was on fire at the Solid Rock Church down there in Monroe? Where were you when you heard about it? It's one of those things that might stay with you for your entire life. Maybe you saw it happening. I've talked about this, and we bring it up every year on this date. Sort of a tradition here on the Evening Edge. And reflect on the Jesus going up in flames.
Monroe Police and Fire, where's your emergency?
Okay, the emergency is at Solid Rock Church on
Yes, sir.
Union
We have
Road.
the fire department en route, sir.
Okay, the lightning struck the statue of Jesus
Yes, sir.
is on fire.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Monroe Police Department.
Hey, it's me again.
Yeah.
It's going to be the right hand, and apparently it's an active
The
fire.
right hand.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
And the whole thing, I mean, all of those calls, it's just amusing to me how the dispatcher, whoever it is just giggling through the whole thing. I remember seeing the video. You can see it on YouTube. It's all over the place. But it happened on this date in 2010. So my question is, where were you when you heard that Jesus was on fire? Yeah, touchdown Jesus. That's right, Random. You got it. Where were you, Random? Were you? Do you remember? I mean, you're a young guy. You're what 27?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
So at that point in 2010, I mean, you were just 4, 5, 6 years old, somewhere in there, right?
No, I was in middle school.
2010. I'm sorry. I was thinking 2000. You're right. 2010. Okay. Yeah. So you were older than that.
I was in middle school. I remember hearing about it.
Right.
I'm kind of disappointed they didn't go back to maybe they were annoyed by people calling it touchdown Jesus. Now it's give me a hug Jesus. And I don't think that's as catchy.
That is true. And the other thing is a giant Cheez-It doesn't fit in the hand as easily in this statue now than it did in the old one when he had his hands.
The Cheez-It is this big.
Yeah. So, but you do remember hearing about it.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I saw Gabby Enright in the newsroom earlier, and I told her, I said, you know what today's the anniversary of? And she goes, oh, I remember I was on vacation when I got the news and I saw the video. And I think this is one of those things that many people will reflect upon. Where were you when it happened? I've talked to people throughout the years on the show, and they're like, oh, I was driving by, or I live a couple of miles and I saw the smoke, I would love to talk to you about it. 937-457-1290. All right. So here's this question about your job. If you hate your job and you could just quit it tomorrow, or maybe you don't even hate your job, maybe you're just ready for something else. If you could support yourself and pursue your dream, what would you do? There's a woman in Aspen, Colorado, and she is a restaurant owner. And she owns a very popular eating establishment called Meat and Cheese Restaurant and Farm Shop. And she announced this last week that she is shutting her doors. She's closing it down. And she has decided that she is going to pursue competitive pickleball. That's right. This woman is closing down her restaurant. It's one of the most popular in Aspen. And she posted on social media that she's worked in the food and beverage industry since she was 15. And I saw her picture. I would say she's probably in her 40s, maybe in her 50s. So that's a long time serving people food. But she's done. She's giving it up. And she's going to become a competitive pickleball player. She adds this decision wasn't made lightly, and that her next goal is to become the over 70 USA pickleball doubles champion. So that might be one of the most unusual career, can we use the word pivot, that I've ever heard. From restaurant owner to pickleball player. And while it does sound amusing, at least she's following her bliss and her dream of what she wants to do. So I thought that might make an interesting conversation. Like if you could just give up your job today and pursue whatever dream it might be, what would it be? Or maybe you did. Maybe you've already done that. Maybe you got tired of doing the same thing day in and day out for years and decades and thought, you know what? I'm going to go become a professional pickleball player or a professional photographer or a model or whatever it is, whatever it might be. I'd love to hear from you. 937-457-1290. Let's see. Opie and the Berg. What's going on, Opie?
Oh, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Now, Opie, do you remember where you were on June 14th, 2010, when the giant Jesus started on fire?
No, but I will. Hold on. Let's back up just 1 second here, because you talk about that girl that's going playing professional pickleball.
Yes.
I keep telling my wife that if I ever win the lottery, I'm going to move to some podunk town and open a hardware store.
Well, see, now I think that's a great idea. I think
And
that's a great
I want
idea.
one of them I want one of them old school hardware stores where I got old guys sitting on benches, the sitters, the spitters, and the whittlers.
Yes. See, that
And
would be great.
And a checkerboard back next to the pot-bellied stove in the back corner of the store.
There you go. Those places smell great. There's nothing better than an old hardware store.
But now on the Jesus fire,
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of nefarious things that came out of Lawrence Bishop's horse farm, and God is trying to tell you something. If you build a statue of Jesus and he strikes it by lightning,
Right.
then you've done something really, really bad.
See, this is what my thought has always been. It's like, this is not something you want to mess with, right? That's why I chose to build a Cheez-It statue, not a Jesus statue.
Yeah. There was a lot of nefarious things that came out of Lawrence Bishop's farm, and so that I'm sure that's why God struck him down.
Probably. I get it. Thanks, Opie.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
All righty. So what's going on, everybody? Lyle, I sent out your poster today. Thank you for your Oh, wait, you don't have sound? Who doesn't have sound? What's up with the jacket, Ashley? I will tell you. It's about 61 degrees in the studio right now, and the air is on. I am freezing my Batuskis off. Yeah, long story short, our studio is on the same air conditioning unit and furnace unit as the weather office on the other side of the building. So when it gets warm in the afternoon over there, because they are on the west side of the building, they turn the air down. I think that's right. That always confuses me. They turn it so the air conditioning is cooler, but that makes our studio cooler, and we don't have the sun. So that's why I'm wearing the jacket. Exactly. Freezing the nips off. So can everybody hear me now? I was concerned because somebody said that they couldn't hear me. Russell, I'm not sure what the issue is. Thank you, Missy. Appreciate it. Huh, Kevin, that's weird. I mean, I'm on there. I think I can, let me hear it. Let me see if I can. I think I can hear. Let's see. I'm watching myself on my phone. I think I can hear. Yeah, see, I can hear. A little bit of a delay. I'm watching myself on my phone. On Facebook. Yeah, see, I can hear. A little bit of a delay. All right, well. Oh, yeah. I do mute the mic sometimes if I have to yell at my producer or swear at him, curse at him, make him cry. Yeah, that's funny, Amy. That's a great question. It was an act of God. I don't know how much they spent on that statue and what they spent on the new one. I mean, I understand why they did it because they want the attention, right? I get it. You know, a church like that is just like any other business. I mean, I don't mean to sound callous, but it is. So they got it. They want to try to attract people. So, hey, let's put a giant Jesus in front of the church along the highway so people can see it. Maybe they'll show up. So I get it. Totally get it. But little silly, little waste of money, if you ask me, but whatever. That was perfectly timed. Oh, that's funny. Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. I mentioned that was perfect timing because I got a message from Steve chastising me for poking fun at the Jesus statue that went up in flames on this date in 2010. Said I shouldn't be making fun of that. But wasn't it an act of God? I mean, isn't lightning an act of God? If you are a believer, that's an act of God, right? It's maybe. I guess he could have directed the lightning bolt a different direction. I don't. But anyway, we move forward. 937-457-1290. Also, I had a story about a woman who closed down her Aspen, Colorado restaurant, a very popular restaurant, to pursue a career in competitive pickleball, which takes some guts. I mean, I know pickleball is growing in popularity, but I didn't realize that there was enough money in pickleball to become a professional pickleball player and make a living at it. But she's going to do it, and I thought, well, you know, more power to her. So my question is to you, if you could just quit your job and pursue whatever crazy dream it might be, what would you do? We talked to Opie. He would open a hardware store in a little podunk town. That's what he would do. I think that's great. No, it's still a job, right? That's still kind of a job. And I guess being a competitive pickleball player is the same, but A little different than running a hardware store. Let's talk to Roberta in Dayton. What's up, Roberta?
Hey, I'm calling about the Jesus statue, and I said I can't believe that you haven't played the Big Butter Jesus song yet.
Yeah, from Haywood Banks. Yes, I had somebody message me that. I'm going to try to find it during the news, and I'll play some of it for sure.
Okay.
All right, Roberta. Thanks for your call. Let's see, Mike in Dayton. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, Todd? How are you?
I'm good. What's shaking with you today?
Just working, man.
Now, where were you when the Big Butter Jesus burnt down?
So if I recall, I've only been in Dayton in Ohio for about 10 years. So I think I was still back in North Carolina.
But I'm sure you saw it. That was national news.
Yeah, no, I definitely saw it. And immediately I figured it was an act of God.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. It was an act of God.
Yeah, because they say, God, he doesn't want, idols made.
There you go. Yep. It works in mysterious ways, they say, Mike.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, so what job would you go to, or what would you pursue if you could just quit your job and move on?
And as far as a dream, I've always wanted to. So I'm a contractor. I'm a handyman and all that stuff around here. And I've always wanted to own my own ranch and raise Black Angus and work the land. That's my dream.
That would be cool. Now it's still work. It's still hard work, but it's the kind of hard work that you would be more willing to do.
No, absolutely. I am making a career change, though, outside the dream. I've always considered, police work, and I just got accepted to the academy, so I'm going Friday.
Oh, well, congratulations. We need cops, that's for sure. Are you going to try to stay local?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to try to stay local?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good job. That's awesome, Mike. Congratulations. Good luck to you, okay? And be safe when you hit the streets.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Todd.
Sure.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Well, you can see him from his chest. G fair. Big.
All right. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Steve. I got that. I was just working on that for the. I'm gonna play a little clip. Can't play the whole thing, but I'm certainly gonna play a clip. Yeah, Josh, it's I mentioned this earlier. The thermostat for our studio is on the other side of the building in the news weather's office, or the weather office, and they're on the west side of the building. It gets warm over there, so they turn up the air or make it cooler. We get the result as well. Hey, Angela, how you doing? Yeah, it's very cold in the studio today. You are correct, Ashley.
In southern Ohio, just north of Cincinnati, I beheld a vision next to the expressway. I was a 60-foot Jesus with his hands in the air. Looked like he's carved out of butter, just like at the state fair. Big butter Jesus, sweet cream Jesus, oh country fresh Jesus, unsalted Jesus, oh promise Jesus, imperial Jesus. I can't believe it's not Jesus. Holy, oh Lord.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. Comedian Haywood Banks. I met him a long time ago. He came and appeared on a morning show that I was working on. And that particular day, somewhere there's a picture, I was dressed up as a Conehead from Saturday Night Live. It was a very fitting morning to meet Haywood Banks. But yeah, we're talking about a couple of things. One, today is the anniversary of the Touchdown Butter Jesus, the Cheez-It Jesus, I guess we could call him, because his hands were wide and he could hold a giant Cheez-It. It was on this date in 2010. It burnt down, struck by lightning, act of God. And also, we're talking about what you would pursue as a career or maybe just as a professional hobby if you could just quit your job. I have a story of a woman in Aspen, Colorado, owner of a very, very popular restaurant there. She's worked in food service since she was 15, and she has decided to quit her job and become a competitive pickleball player, which I think is great. I don't know that she's going to make a lot of money playing professional pickleball, but it's her dream, and that's what she wants to pursue. So if you could just kick it all to the curb and go pursue your dream, what would it be? 937-457-1290. Paula and Lima. What's up, Paula?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
First of all, what is pickleball? I've never heard of that.
Pickleball is like, it's a combination. The best way I would describe it is it's sort of like table tennis, but on a small tennis court using smaller rackets, which I think are made of wood, and a ball that sounds like
ping pong on a tennis court.
Yeah, but it's you know, it's full size. It's yeah. I mean, they're all it's
Wow.
Paula, pickleball is sweeping the nation.
I've never heard of it.
Get on board, Paula.
I
Get on board or get out of the way.
But that's so far out of what I'm going to do if I could quit my job.
Well, what would you do? What would you do?
I would actually buy a huge, huge plot of land and adopt every single cat, dog, donkey, goat from every humane society and just make a huge animal sanctuary.
Wow. You know,
and that wouldn't even be work for me. That would just be.
You would just enjoy it. Now,
Right.
see, you have to be careful, though. I read a story today, and I was going to print it out probably for Friday night about someone, and I forget, I didn't print it, so I don't remember what state this happened in. But I think it was in Florida, maybe. But anyway, this guy who had all this land, he bought, I guess, a bunch of pigs, or he saved a bunch of pigs. All right. From people who had pigs. He had like 120 pigs. And he got these pigs because the pigs were going to clear some brush from some land that he had. Okay. Like somehow I guess the pigs were going to eat the brush. I don't know. I'll get into it on Friday. But he did this last year. This year, he's up to 600 pigs and they were out of control.
Holy moly.
Apparently they are Olympic style reproductive creatures. You know what I mean? They're just like really on board. So anyway, you just have to be
I would get
careful.
all of my animals fixed first, or offer that to everybody in Ohio or wherever I am. Just
okay.
have everybody get their animals spayed and neutered.
I got you. All right. Well, that sounds.
If I couldn't do that, then I would open up a giant nursing home, and I would put senior citizens in with senior pets and have them both be able to just live out the rest of their lives together.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I would just
cleaning up a lot, I think.
Amazing. What?
You'd be cleaning up a lot.
No, I would be.
You'd hired some fool to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. All right, Paula. Well, thank you for your call. Good luck on your dream. Lee in Sydney. What's up, Lee?
I was calling about your big butter Jesus.
A big butter Jesus.
I happened to be home when that happened. I seen it.
Oh, and you live close? You live close to it?
No, I live away. I seen it on the television.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And then I started laughing. I couldn't help it. It's sad to laugh at it, but I know a guy, I guess you can go inside it. You could have went inside the big butter Jesus.
Really?
And you could go in. There was a door.
I wonder if it was just a fancy shed.
Well, I don't know, but him and his girlfriend kind of went inside the big butter Jesus and had relations.
You're kidding me. You're joking.
No, I'm not kidding. I know him.
Really?
They went in there. Then right after they did that, it got struck by lightning.
But they weren't obviously in it at the time. But
no.
Interesting.
But I found it rather amusing.
Boy, if you know that person, you should try to get a hold of him and have him call the show. I'd love to talk to him.
Pretty amazing story. He was telling me about it. He said, we were just in there. I'm like,
we were just in there.
Really? You were in Big Butter Jesus doing what I think you were doing.
So could you
oh
climb? Could you climb up like into the arms? I wonder, like like the Statue of Liberty.
He said you could go in it. I don't know the whole specifics. But when I seen that it got struck by lightning, and you shouldn't laugh at that, but after the story, I just couldn't help it. See, there you go.
Yeah, I think we've got some music.
Yeah.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. All right, Lee, thanks for your call. Jim in West Carrollton. What's up, Jim?
Hey, what's up?
How are you, man?
Pretty good. On the Butter Jesus, I was probably at that time traveling back and forth between Columbus and Dayton or West Carrollton, and heard it probably on your show.
Yeah.
And
well, not on my show, but on the station for sure.
On the station, yeah. And so it was interesting, and I thought, well, if the Lord is talking, He's going to talk it that way.
That's right. Never mind the burning bush, the burning Jesus.
That's right.
Right.
And yep. And so maybe it was destined to happen. Of course, they put another one back up in some form, and we'll see.
Right.
How long that one lasts. But if I was to leave my career, probably what I'd do is buy a brand new motorcycle trike and travel the country and take photos and sell them online or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a good retirement thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure
well, maybe you'll be able to do that, Jim. I appreciate your call. That line's open, 937-457-1290. Yep, we had a car crash into a building.
Dayton drivers keep on crashing, colliding into homes and stores. Every week, another thrashing leaves the building feeling sore.
Well, it happened again in Kettering, and I don't know. I'd have to go back and look and see exactly where they've all occurred, but I know that we've had, at least in the last month or so, 2, maybe 3 in Kettering. This would, I think, be the 4th. This happened at a veterinarian's office at the corner of Wilmington Pike and Beaver Creek Lane. And I'm very familiar with that area because that is right across the street from where Armadillo Records used to be. That little shopping center. Or it's not really a shopping center. It's like a little, I don't know, there were maybe like 5 or 6 businesses in there. And it was right across the street. And I believe that building, the veterinarian's office, used to be a Ponderosa. And it's still shaped like a Ponderosa, but it's painted blue. The vehicle struck the administrative side of the building. This was just around, I guess, 7 this morning, a little bit after 7. So luckily, nobody was in the building. They hadn't opened yet. And most importantly, well, not most importantly, but also just as important, no animals were injured during the crash. So that's good news. Thankfully, I guess I'm sure whatever cages they might have or dog playpens or whatever might be in the back. Looked like a blue SUV of some sort. And I was talking to a few people online. If you look at the picture, and the pictures are on my Facebook page, and thank you for the listeners who sent them to me. I had several people send me photos. I'm not sure how this happened because it looks like they went straight into the wall in front of the building. And I don't know what street they would have been coming from or a parking lot, but boy, it did some damage. You can see part of the wall and the brick lining collapsed. The driver was reportedly still inside the vehicle when first responders arrived. They were able to remove her or him, I don't know. Crews helped remove the person and no word on injuries. So hopefully they're okay. But if you're keeping track, that would be number 60 for the year. Number 60. We're going to hit 100. I just have a feeling we're halfway through the year. I mean, this week is really sort of, we're getting towards that halfway point. And I just have a feeling if we're already at 60, we're going to hit 100 and not even think twice about it. So just pay attention when you're out there. Be careful. I know a lot of it is distracted driving, so keep it between the lines, as they say.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Jeanette, that's funny. That's pretty brazen, I think. To sneak into that. I mean, I would never be that brave. Never be that brave. That's right, Josh. They're like pedestrians. They just pop right out there. Jaywalking houses. The woman who was on our show a few days ago talking about the giant werewolf was on Channel 7 earlier. They went up and did a story, and I got a message from her, and she said that she spoke to city code personnel, and they told me it would probably just be dropped. Shouldn't hear any more from them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I'm guessing, I mean, what she told me, and I don't know if you heard me talk about this last night. I think it was last night before, that she found out that somebody complained. So someone either near her or just driving by complained. So I'm guessing that the city just, put the sticker on her door and hoping that she would just take it down and move on. But it doesn't sound like there's any specific code that she's breaking. Yeah, Ashley, that's probably what it is. They just didn't want the aggravation. But I will say, I don't think the woman, her name is Mary, I don't think she specifically contacted the news, because I sent her a message this afternoon and I said, hey, I hear Channel 7 is going to be doing a story on this. And she says, yeah, completely surprised by that. So here's what I do know. Is that reporters who work outside of our building, for Channel 7, and the videographers and the people that are out with them listen to this show. So it's always possible that somebody heard us talking about it on this show. Or they saw my my post about it because they follow my page. I haven't been doing this for like years and years and years and years or decades or whatever, but I've been doing it long enough that when something happens in the news, and it may not even necessarily be something like this, like, a 9.5-foot werewolf is certainly something I would talk about. Or cars crashing into buildings, right? But people send me, news tips all the time, asking me to, try to pass it on to Channel 7. So maybe they were watching or listening or watching. I guess they could have been watching our feed. Ooh, Angela, that sounds good. Nachos. Nachos. Snowman Todd. Yeah, it's pretty cold in here. Russell, have a good night, man. Thanks for watching. Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. Want to give you an update on the woman up in Piqua who has the 9.5-foot werewolf in her front yard. She was on our show last week. I think it was maybe Friday. Name is Mary. She and I have sort of been communicating back and forth about the progress of the werewolf structure. And Channel 7 was actually up there today doing a story on it. So you might check out Channel 7. I don't know what time they're going to show it. I think they showed it earlier, but they'll probably show it again. But she told me, Mary, in her text, that she spoke to the city code personnel, and they told her they would probably just drop it, and that she could keep the werewolf. Because they couldn't really give her any specific ordinance that she was violating. And that's the truth. If you can have a 10-foot basketball hoop in front of your house, why can't you have a 9.5-foot werewolf? At least he was wearing pants, right? Dennis in Wapakoneta. What's up, Dennis?
Hey, I was calling in about job and go do something I love.
Quitting your job? Yeah. What would you do if you could quit it?
Drive a race car.
Oh, now what kind of race car? Are we talking NASCAR? Are we talking Indy, Formula One? What?
No, sprint car on the dirt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just throwing it all out to the wind.
Well, can't you could still do that just sort of like on the side, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could. And in my younger days, I used to race, but
oh, I got you.
Got a little older and more responsibility and takes a lot of money.
I understand. Dennis, where are you calling from?
Wapakoneta.
It's got a funny sounding name, but it's famous for astronaut Armstrong and an old French fort called Anglaise. The people there are really friendly. Wapakoneta, we sing your praise. Yeah! Wapakoneta, I wanna go Wapakoneta. Gotta get me to Wapakoneta. We'll party in Wapakoneta. Thanks for calling, Dennis.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
All right. So, to the folks watching the live stream, if you could just quit your job, what would you want to go do? I mean, this woman in Colorado, she's not just quitting her job as a working at a restaurant. You know, it'd be one thing if she was working at a restaurant, you know, an hourly worker and cooking food or serving food, whatever it might be. She owns the restaurant, and it's a very, very popular restaurant. Now, I don't know if she's making buku bucks. You know, restaurants operate on a very slim profit margin. But, you know, it's her place. And she's just closing it down. And she's going to become a pickleball player. Jeanette, you would become a pole dancer? Wow. Again, you know, that's one of those jobs you might be able to get a side gig doing. You wouldn't necessarily have to quit your job. Unless, of course, you were a teacher or something like that, then maybe they would frown upon you riding the pole for extra money. Having the dads of the kids that you teach coming in and seeing you. Oh, wow. For quarters? No. I bet you'd at least get $1. Maybe $2. I had a friend who used to do that. Back in the day, there were times I frequented a certain gentleman's club, if you will, with friends of mine. And I had a buddy who would go into the bank the day that we were going to go out, and he would get like $100 worth of $2 bills. You can get them. You can go to the bank and ask for $2 bills, and they'll give them to you. And he would tip them $2 instead of 2 ones, 2 singles. Jack, those are fighting words, man. There are some hardcore pickleball fans out there. You know? They are pickleball fanatics. Anybody watching the live stream eat those monster cereals? You know what I'm talking about? There is a new flavor. I'm going to talk about it. I'm actually going to give Random, my producer, a quiz. It's like a nice night. Little cool, but
Monroe Police Department?
Hey, it's County.
Yeah.
You get a call for the Jesus being on fire at Solid Rock yet?
No.
Apparently it got struck by lightning and it's now on fire.
Nice.
The caller from 75 said that it was the Jesus. Now, whether or not it is, I don't know, but...
It's either the church or that, right?
Correct.
Police Department, Dispatcher Bank?
Hey, it sounds like it's just going to be the Jesus. Now we're getting reports that its hand is on fire.
All right.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
it's the laugh that just gets
Monroe
me.
Police Department, Dispatcher Bank?
Hey, it's on now.
Yeah.
Hey, you all handle Solid Rock?
Yeah, the Jesus is on fire.
The Jesus
Someone
is
just called
on
in about
fire. Well, yeah, it was on this date, June 14th, 2010, the touchdown Jesus, the butter Jesus, the Cheez-It Jesus, the jumping out of the water Jesus, the Godzilla Jesus, whatever you want to call it. It was on this date in 2010 that it burned down after being struck by lightning. So we're just reflecting upon that catastrophic moment, Miami Valley history. Many people remember the train derailment in Miamisburg. Sure, that was bad, but oh my God. The Jesus burning down on 75 at the Solid Rock Church. That is quite memorable. So we're just reflecting on that. Maybe you remember where you were. You know, lots of times big tragedies like that, when they occur, people remember where they were. I remember where I was when the Challenger shuttle exploded. People remember where they were when President Kennedy was shot, right? People remember where, older generation, where they were when they first heard about Pearl Harbor. Where were you when you heard the giant Jesus, not Cheez-Its, was struck by lightning? 937-457-1290. The other thing we're talking about is, what adventure would you pursue if you could just quit your job? Tomorrow morning, you walk in, you tell your boss, I've had it, I'm done, I'm hanging it up, and I'm going to go pursue my life's dream. I bring it up because there's a woman in Aspen, Colorado, who owns a restaurant, a very popular restaurant called Meat and Cheese Restaurant. Catchy name. But she's leaving the food industry, closing down her restaurant to pursue competitive pickleball. This is a true story. She posted on social media that she's worked in the food and beverage industry since she was 15, and now that she's getting older, she's trying to prioritize what she needs to accomplish in this life. And that one accomplishment that seems to be eluding her, in her own words, becoming the over 70 USA pickleball doubles champion. Now, yeah, on the surface, that sounds a little silly. You're closing down your business. All those people that work there are going to lose their jobs. They're going to have to go find another gig so you can pursue your dream of becoming a pickleball princess. The pickleball princess of Aspen, Colorado. So if you could just quit your job, what would you do? Would you become a pickleball player? Or maybe you would become a ballroom dancer. That's competitive. People do that competitively. What would you do? We've had people say they would buy a motorcycle and travel around and take photographs. That's cool. We had one lady call in and say she would buy a bunch of land and open the biggest animal sanctuary in the world. Another guy said he'd buy a ranch and raise Angus beef and work the ranch. That would be cool. I'm doing what I want to do. So I would never quit my job to go pursue my dream, because candidly, and this isn't just me putting on a smile, this is all I want to do. This is it and I'm going to die in the studio. That's my plan. I'm going to do this until the day is done, because I love what I do. There's no, nothing else. So if there is one thing that you'd like to do, 937-457-1290, I'd love to hear about it. Or maybe you've done it. Maybe you were doing a job that you didn't feel any passion for, and you thought, you know what, there's got to be more to life than this. Maybe you became a travel, like a social media travel person. You travel around and you post on social media about great places to visit. I totally get it. 937-457-1290. Let's talk to Brandy in Miamisburg. What's up, Brandy?
Hey, Todd. I just wanted to share with you. I happened to be driving north on 75 when the lightning struck. We called him Touchdown Jesus.
Yeah, that was more popular, I think, than Big Butter Jesus. But were you passing by when it was
Right.
aflame?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did, and I took a few pictures as I drove by. But yeah, I was stunned.
And that was really,
imagine it.
in 2010, I'm trying to think back. It wasn't really before social media per se, but I don't think people were posting as much as they would now, right? You know, I don't know that I don't remember seeing pictures of the touchdown Jesus inferno on Facebook
Somewhere
back
on
then.
an old phone. I have another one for you, though. I remember where I was when Challenger blew up.
Oh, well, now see, I was in
a great thing to recall.
I was in school. I was working in the library at Beaver Creek High School.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I was probably a little bit older.
Where were you at, Brandy?
Malfunctioned. I was actually in a graduate class for how to design solid rocket boosters, and we were watching it together as a class.
Wait a second.
And
You were
obviously
you were in a class learning about solid rocket boosters when the Challenger exploded because of a solid rocket booster problem with the O-ring.
Right. And my teacher didn't know what to say. Yeah, the professor was stunned.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, that's why I couldn't forget that one.
Oh, there's no way.
Somebody needs to go back to class, right? Somebody didn't pass.
Well, the thing that I remember when I was working in the library, I was part of like the, do you remember the term AMC? The audio,
Yes.
or it was no, not the AMC. The
Those are theaters.
no, the AVC. Yeah, how can I forget it? Audio visual. It was like the audio visual.
AV.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where I was working, and after it happened,
You're the AV guy.
I was the AV guy. That's right. I was a little techie nerd, and after it happened, teachers were calling the library, or contacting the library and saying, we need a TV in our room. We need a TV in our room. This was before, classrooms all had TVs, and the TV would be on the giant scooter thing that you'd roll down and you'd have to hook up. So that's what I did. I was just hooking up TVs so people could watch the coverage. So, all right, Brandy. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your call. Have a good one. That line's open, 937-457-1290. Ron in Verona. What's up, Ron?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Well, I called. My situation is a little bit different. I'm already retired because I lost my eyesight.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But if I can ever find anybody who would like to co-author with me, I always wanted to write, but it's kind of hard for a blind person to write.
Well, but there are programs out there that you just speak and it will put it into text.
Well, I know very little about those, and I would need technical help on those because I'm an older guy. I'm not the most tech savvy in the world.
Well, I bet, Ron, if you called your local library and you explain your situation, there might be somebody there that could lead you in the right direction. Because I've even done that, and I have my site. I've just sort of dictated something on that's just coming to my head, and it records it, and I get it in a text, and then I email it to myself. It's very easy. And I bet somebody would be able to help you.
Well, I guess I can try that. I was thinking if I ever found somebody to co-author, they could help do internet research on information that I
got you, Ron. I'll help you.
Huh?
I'll help you. I'll help you figure that out. If you're interested, if you're interested in that, I'll help you figure it out. I mean, I don't know that I'm going to write a book with you, but I would certainly help you figure out the technology.
Oh, okay. That would be nice.
All right. Well, hang on the line, and I'll have my producer Random get your phone number. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, there you go. Put him on hold, and we'll get his number, and I'll try to help him. All right. 937-457-1290. Coming up, we have cereal news. And if you love the Monster cereal, and you know what I'm talking about, Count Chocula, Boo Berry, Frankenberry, guess what? They got a new Monster cereal coming out.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Billy, professional fencing? Really? I had an old soccer coach of mine was a fencer. I thought that was so interesting. I think at one time I thought they taught classes at Kettering Rec Center, maybe? Frank, that's awesome. You've only haven't been to 3 of the states, huh? That's cool. I think I'm at every once in a while I count it and then I never remember. I think I'm like at 34. I haven't been to the Northeast, like the seaboard. I mean, I've been to New York. I've been to Pennsylvania, Maryland, but I haven't been to Rhode Island or Mass or any place like that. Connecticut, New Hampshire, and I've not been to the Pacific Northwest. The closest I made it out there was Idaho. Haven't been to Alaska. Haven't been to Hawaii. But I've been all through the Midwest, all through the South. Haven't been to Texas or New Mexico. I don't think I haven't been to Oklahoma. But I've made it through almost all the rest. South Dakota, yes. North Dakota, no. Jeremy, I can't tell from your picture because on my screen it's very small. I can't tell how old you are, and I'm asking because I'm wondering if you were alive when the volcano erupted. I was. I remember that. Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. Talking about this woman in Aspen, Colorado who quit her job. She owned a restaurant. And she's going to pursue her lifelong dream of being a competitive pickleball player. So the question was, what would you quit, or what would you do if you quit your job and went and pursued your dream? 937-457-1290. But we also have some, this is exciting because I've been looking forward to this all day. We have some cereal news.
Dear Life cereal.
You want some cereal?
You want cereal?
You're packing cereal?
A bowl of cereal. Cereal? I want something hot.
Pity the poor fool. Don't keep that cereal.
All right, Random, got a question for you.
Okay, Todd, shoot.
Now, I'm sure you've heard of Monster cereals, right?
Yes, of course. You know, Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry.
Right. Now, I didn't realize, I know those three because those three were around when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But there's actually a new one, and there's two others I knew nothing about.
Okay. Lay them on me, Todd.
Well, I was gonna try to quiz you. You got Count Chocula, Boo Berry, and Frankenberry.
Isn't there like a mummy one? It's like
You're
fruity,
right.
Yummy Mummy or
You
something.
got it. Yummy
Oh,
Mummy. Yummy
okay.
Mummy is one. And then there's one called Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brute.
That just sounds weird.
But there's a new one. The first new character in 35 years.
Okay.
I will tell you that the cereal has a caramel apple flavor with pieces of colored Monster marshmallows. And it's called Carmella Creeper.
Carmella Creeper.
And not only is it the first new character in over 35 years, Carmella Creeper is the first female character in the spooky monster cereal lineup.
Well, I'm glad like equality has finally.
That's
finally,
right.
yeah.
Right. The monster cereal is now going to be accused of becoming woke.
Apparently, yeah.
There's a woke cereal now because they have a female monster on the box of their cereal.
Protect the children.
She is her character is actually a zombie DJ with an edgy sound.
I mean, I can appreciate
Yeah.
the DJ aspect of it. I think we both can. You know, I think the radio community deserves to have
Sure.
representation in the monster cereal department.
Yeah, she's a zombie DJ, and she's always the life of the party. That's their pun, because, of course, she's a zombie. So there you go. It's available at your local grocery store. So, buy the whole lineup.
Yep, go buy it,
Buy the
people.
whole crew. Buy the whole crew. 937-457-1290. Nancy in Carlisle. What's up, Nancy?
I had two Where Were You When stories. One was Where Were You When 9/11 started? I was a director of a child care center, and after 8 o'clock in the morning, we started getting phone calls,
Right.
and then we got more phone calls, and by noon, every child had been picked up by their parents.
I believe it. Now, how about the
It was very scary.
how about the touchdown Jesus? Do you know where you were when that burned down? Do you remember that dreadful day?
Well, it's really interesting because I also was driving by when it was on fire, when it was still smoking.
Oh.
So I heard that other lady say that, and I was like, oh, someone already took my story because I was going by too.
The giant Jesus was smoldering.
That's right. I had one more when John F. Kennedy died.
Ah.
I was in 5th grade, and the intercom in our classroom came on.
Wow.
And it stated JFK, President John F. Kennedy, has been shot and killed.
Wow, that's got to be memorable.
Everyone was crying. This
Sure.
is 5th grade.
Yeah.
Everyone was crying, and it was an awful experience.
I believe it. Thank you, Nancy. 937-457-1290. We'll take more of your calls. What would you do if you could quit your job and pursue your dream? What is that dream? That's what I'd like to know. 937-457-1290. And where were you when the giant touchdown Jesus burned down? That could be a song. I mean, I know that Haywood Banks did a song like that, but it seems like there could be something else. Where were you when the Jesus burned down. Something like that. Like a sort of a soulful gospel ballad.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Hello. Is my mic off? All right. Oh, okay. Jeremy, so you were alive when Mount St. Helens blew up. Do you remember that you could send away for a vial of ash from the volcano? I remember that. And I think at one time we had a vial of ash from Mount St. Helens. But the thing that most people probably didn't realize is that, that could have just easily been like charcoal ash from somebody's charcoal grill. Yeah, I remember there were ads in the paper, magazines afterwards, whatever it was $10 or whatever it was for a vial of ash from Mount St. Helens. And of course, the crazy people would send their money. Angela, thank you for your comment. The reason that I'm wearing this jacket today is because it is very cold in the studio. It's been cold here the last few days. Monday night, I froze my Batuskis off. And I need to... I've lost a bunch of weight, truthfully, and I'm colder now than I used to be. So now I'm always cold. I feel like a little old lady. Yeah, the air just kicked on again. There's a vent. You can't see it. It's not on camera, obviously. It's on the ceiling. And at least 4 or 5 times a show, it just kicks on and blows cool air right into my face. It'd be fine if it was noon. or even 11 o'clock or whatever, because the sun is on the east side of our building in the morning, obviously, duh, but that's where the studio is.
In southern Ohio, just north of Cincinnati, I beheld a vision next to the expressway. Was a 60-foot Jesus with his hands in the air. Looked like he's carved out of butter, just like at the state fair. Big butter Jesus, sweet cream Jesus, oh country fresh Jesus, unsalted Jesus, oh promise Jesus, imperial Jesus, I can't believe it's not Jesus, holy oh Lord.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. It was on this date in 2010 down at the Solid Rock Church. There on 75. Lightning struck Jesus. Hit his right hand. Caught on fire and burned down all the way down to the I don't know what you call it, the scaffolding inside or the frame. So the question is, where were you when the big touchdown Jesus died? 937-457-1290. Jarhead in Milton. What's up, Jarhead?
Hey, Todd.
Hey.
If you ever get down in the area, you'll have to give me a ring so I can show you the local stuff.
Oh, they're in Milton. I would love to. Let me ask you this. Do I have to give you a ring, or can I just go into Milton and say, hey, where's Jarhead live? And they'll know exactly who I'm talking about.
Too many jarheads in the area.
You're going to have to be more specific. All right. What's happening? Yeah. What's going on, man?
But, man, they missed out on a huge opportunity when Big Butter Jesus caught fire. Because afterwards, if you notice, it looked more like Terminator Jesus.
That's right. That's right.
Left him like that.
Yeah.
And they just had a sign that says, Jesus states, I'll be back.
That's... That is brilliant, Jarhead. A big sign, I will be back. That's awesome. Good idea. Thank you for that. Let's see. Mark and Dayton, what's up, Mark? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Well, when you're talking about the Jesus thing,
the Jesus
it seems
thing,
to me that they rebuilt that and it burned out again, from my recollection. Or a guy hit twice. I don't remember which. Maybe someone told me wrong.
I don't remember that. I mean, I know they rebuilt it. It's certainly possible that. Did it start on fire again? You know what? I think it did. I don't think it did the damage that the first act of God did. But the second one, I think there was something that happened to it. I remember maybe it just got hit by lightning and it caused a small fire, but I don't remember exactly what the story was.
I don't remember the totals on that, and I don't even know where I was at. I might have been going to the flea market if it was on a Saturday. So, but
I bet that is quite the vision for people who have never been through the area before, driving down the road 75, and then voila, as Haywood Banks says in his song "Big Butter Jesus," it's basically the thought that you have and what you see and the name. It's the same thing. It's just like Jesus. Like, what is that?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Mark. Appreciate your call. Frank in Greenville. What's up, Frank?
Hey, Todd. How you doing this evening?
Good.
I guess you could call this my superpower, as useless as it is, but I have a way of remembering dates. So when you say what happened on such and such date, for example, the explosion on, what was it, February 28th for the shuttle.
Okay.
But no, my birthday's also 9/11, so that's another reason I guess I keep up with dates.
Well, sure, yeah, remember that.
I go day to day remembering things. Like, for example, May 27th was National Tap Dancing Day.
Well, that was just like a couple weeks ago, and we did tap dance. Well, I tried. I never got a good tap.
We had a tap dancer half an hour before the end of the show, though.
Well, okay. It was a tap dancer in a wheelchair.
And I do know what happens on Sunday, September 3rd.
That's my birthday.
Yes. And like I just said, I have a way of remembering dates. It's kind of weird because when my wife and I are engaged in conversations a lot of time, people will ask about certain events or occurrences, if you will.
Yeah.
And then she'll go, well, you'll have to ask Frank. And I'll just naturally go, oh, yeah, I remember at such and such time on such and such a date, this happened.
Now, have you seen this actress, Mary Lou Henner? She was on Taxi. You know who I'm talking about?
Mary Lou Henner?
Yeah. She's got that very same ability, but she could say, if you said to her, what day was April 2nd, 1975, she could tell you exactly what that day was. And I think she could tell you what she did that day. She's got one of those crazy memories.
I'm not quite to that extent, but yes, I do have a way of remembering dates. And if you've got a couple of minutes longer to share,
I got to run. I got other calls.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, have a good evening and thank you for the call.
Thank you, Frank. Frank, I appreciate it. A couple of minutes. That's a little much, because we have to talk about an idiot with a gun.
Another idiot with a gun.
Me with a gun. I mean, that's really scary.
Why don't you just give me the gun, all right?
An idiot with a gun? What was that business with a gun?
A naked guy with a gun?
Why can't you just pick up the stupid gun and wave it around?
Hate to shatter your ego, but this ain't the first time I've had a gun pointed at me.
Well, usually when we do these stories, it's some idiot who has access to a gun and he's using it in a foolish, ridiculous way. It could be threatening somebody, or it could just he'd be playing with the gun, or it could be a she as well. And that, to me, that's kind of like idiotic, an idiot with a gun. It's just idiotic to do. But I'd be curious to get your take on this one, because I feel like this guy's an idiot with a gun, but I don't know if it's 100% his fault. This happened in Illinois. 62-year-old man is facing charges after cops say he allegedly shot himself in the leg while he was dreaming that a burglar was breaking into his home. So follow this. The man, he lives in northwest of Chicago, told cops he was having a very vivid dream that someone had broken into his home. Now, I've had vivid dreams before. They usually have to do with working here in the building on the show. I have crazy radio dreams where I'm in here and equipment isn't working and I'm, sort of scared and startled and not sure what to do. I've had dreams of playing soccer, which I used to do when I was younger, and I miss it terribly. And then dreams of having sex. All three of those very vivid. But I've never had a dream of somebody breaking into my home. So this guy was having this dream. In a nighttime stupor, the man, apparently sleepwalking something, retrieved his .357 Magnum revolver and took aim at what he thought was an intruder and fired. The bullet went clean through his leg and lodged into the bed. Yeah, he fired and shot himself. And that's when apparently he woke up from the dream. When first responders got there, the man was bleeding so badly that they had to use a tourniquet to stop the blood flow. He, of course, was rushed to the hospital. Cops confirm, yes, it was only a dream. No evidence of an intruder could be found. So this guy was dreaming so vividly and was so out of it when he woke up that he thought it was real enough to get his gun. Now, I doubt that this guy had his gun in a gun safe somewhere. It was probably right on his nightstand, you know? But he's facing charges now not because he shot himself. I don't think that there's, if you accidentally shoot yourself and injure yourself, I don't know what the laws generally are, but I think you could say, I was loading it or I was unloading it or I was, those horrible instances happen. I think it would just be sort of passed over, I've forgotten. They wouldn't charge him with anything. It's like, okay, we're moving on. I don't know. But the man did not have a valid firearm owner's ID card, which in Illinois you have to have. You have to have an ID card to own and to buy ammo. And it had been revoked for some reason. It doesn't say in the story why, but it had been revoked. So the guy who was dreaming and shot himself in the leg because he thought he was shooting at an intruder is now charged with illegally possessing a gun as well as reckless discharge. So I guess even if he did have an ID, a valid ID, he'd probably get charged with that, reckless discharge. Now, I've heard a lot of people doing strange things when they're sort of in that area between sleep and awake. But not that. Not shooting yourself. Karen in Butler Township. What's up, Karen?
Well, I wanted to talk about the blood of Jesus, but the other one was more interesting. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. It sounds like a fishy story to me. I mean, so you're in a dream, you wake up, you go all the way, you find your gun, and you seem to come back to the place you were and crawl right back in bed, lean down, and then shoot yourself in the leg. Well, to me, it just sounds like a very fishy story.
I agree. When I read that, I thought, I feel like there's something else going on here. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what they investigated, what was, omitted from the story. But it does seem weird. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing it's one thing to have a very vivid dream like that and wake up in a panic. But then there's that moment you're like, oh, it was just a dream.
Yeah. And then you go all the way to find where your gun's at.
Yeah.
And then you come back to the bed you were just in. I mean, if you thought it was an intruder, you might have stood up and shot the wall. Who knows if you were in a stupor, but you came back right where you were, crawled back in bed, leaned down, shot yourself in the leg.
Yeah. He was probably drunk.
Probably. But the Butter Jesus one,
yeah.
A friend of mine went to Solid Rock Church.
Okay.
And they were there when, of course, Butter Jesus burned to the ground from lightning.
Yep.
And he said there was a big problem going on in the congregation. There was a lot of things amiss.
A lot of turmoil, drama.
A lot of turmoil. And maybe Butter Jesus and the real Jesus said, I'll show you. I'm just going to burn down what you put there as far as Butter Jesus, and lightning struck and burn it all the way to the ground.
with a booming voice from the sky and a bolt of lightning. Yeah.
It came crashing down, but I mean, I've been in that direction and I don't pay much attention, but I don't think there's another better Jesus there. Now there might be.
No, they rebuilt it. It's different now. It's different. Oh. But I thought, and maybe somebody knows this before we end the show here in a few minutes. Somebody said that they thought that it burned down again. Now, I know it didn't burn down again, but I seem to remember that maybe it had been struck again and there was a small fire or something. Maybe I'm dreaming that.
You might be.
But I feel like something happened and maybe somebody can set us straight before we end things. So Karen, thank you for your call. 937-457-1290. I guess I could just Google it. I could just do the Google and find out. But maybe someone knows.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. Just a couple of moments left. Earl in Brookville. What's up, Earl?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, on that touchdown Jesus, if I remember correctly, it did catch on fire the second time from either a cutting torch or a welder.
Okay, so it wasn't an act of God. It was an act of a welder or something.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. But if I am, I dreamt it like the guy that shot himself.
Yep, I'm with you.
Natural selection almost took care of him.
That's what they say. That's true, Earl. Thank you. Robert in Inglewood, what's up?
Hey, Todd.
Hey.
Back when I was 16, I thought I was dreaming. I woke up. I had actually filled up one of those family-sized cans of Nestle Quick powder with milk. I thought I was dreaming. I woke up probably about 6 hours later, saw it sitting on the counter. I was just like, no, I didn't. It was completely full of milk.
Well, that's certainly better than shooting yourself in the leg.
Yes, it is. But you will do some crazy things in your sleep sometimes.
I suppose that's true. All right, Robert, thanks for your call. I appreciate it. Well, there you go. There's the show. You can find the podcast at eveningedgetodd.com and wherever you find your favorite podcast, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, Google Play. It's all over the place. And you can send me a message, Evening Edge Todd. I'm on social media at Evening Edge Todd. And shoot me an email, eveningedgetodd@gmail.com. Have a great Thursday night or Wednesday night. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Have a great Wednesday, not Thursday. Have a great night. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Thanks, Frank. Have a good one, everybody.